Hey guys, now I am with Simon Harvey, Captain Australia, and Simon is bloody amazing. He is walking from Brisbane to Melbourne, and right now I've kidnapped him, and don't worry, I'm not driving him anywhere. I'm going to biff the bastard out, make him walk. I've kidnapped him between Sale and Stratford because when he gets to Sale, he's going to be absolutely bombarded by all the amazingly generous people in Sale. But I just wanted to grab hold of him. I want to get him on the podcast, but, you know, trying to catch somebody for a podcast interview while they're walking isn't that much fun. So once he's finished, I'm going to snag him for a podcast. Simon, how you going?
I'm well, thank you. Really good, Kerryn. Cheers. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Tell
us about why you're doing the walk.
Okay, well, it started, the idea that gave birth to it was personal healing.
Yeah.
So I was broken after a fight with stage 4 cancer. I had 6 months to live. I beat the disease, but I have 3 young children. When I was diagnosed, my youngest son was 3 years old.
Oh, God.
And I couldn't get past the combined ramifications of the disease.
Yeah.
So the existential stuff,
Yeah.
you know, I felt shame. I had no control over getting cancer, but I felt ashamed by the idea that I could abandon my children to a darker life without me. And so 4 years later, I had all these physical side effects too, like I had to feed through a tube into my stomach. My thyroid was destroyed by the radiation, and I had gained weight. So I was broken. Like I was just a ghost waiting to die, and I had no hope or forward momentum in my life, and I realized I needed to fix it. And I just had from a clear blue sky, a memory of a walk I did as a child. I was 15 years old. I needed to escape a bad domestic situation. So my mother was a heroin addict, and it was pretty dark, and I needed to get out of there. And I did. I just slung a pack on my back and I huck finned it up. I went out and I had an adventure. I walked from Brisbane to Sydney pretty much. Well, I got to Gloucester.
Wow.
And, you know, I got rides in it as well. It wasn't like a disciplined walk like what I'm doing now. It was, you know, get to Sydney, evade detection by the police, don't want to go into foster care.
Yeah.
So I went to live with my grandmother, and it was like going from the hospital room where you felt doomed to die into just the fresh open air where you can breathe and everything's okay.
Yeah.
So I remembered how it felt, and I started to create hope around the idea that I could repeat that walk as an older man, and that it would heal me.
Yeah.
So in investing in hope of that, and slowly breathing life into it, and then allowing it to grow, I decided to take a big walk, and then I decided to be of service, to do it theatrically, do all this Captain Australia stuff, and do it for charity. And when I added that service dimension to it, the hope grew stronger. Because I believe genuinely that, like the Buddhists say, that kindness is the antidote to suffering. So hope is like the fuel that allows you to do anything in your life. And once I started to grow it, I started to get better. So before I actually set out, which was on Boxing Day last year, I had been practicing walking all year pretty much. I lost a good 50 kilos of weight that I'd put on from the thyroid. And I was just getting better. But it wasn't until I set out on the walk that I've really begun healing and really just stripping my life back and rebuilding myself. And that was the first and foremost corner of the walk and why I'm taking it. So serving the charity is the other corner of the triangle, I guess. And the third reason is, well, I mean, initially it was just down to morbidly taking and sharing of myself for my children in case the cancer came back to me. But that's changed. So now it is taking and sharing the story with everybody in case it benefits them. In case that demonstrating concretely that a broken life can be fixed has merit and worth for anybody out there who needs to see it. So that's become the third corner of why I'm doing the walk.
And I know I've been watching your videos, and you have instilled that idea that anybody can heal, because I've seen comments, you know, that people have said to you, you know, that you're making a big difference to their life. So I think it's bloody marvellous. What's the charity?
I love it as well. So
no, I was going to say, what's the charity that you
It's called the Kids Cancer Project. So anybody who saw this and was interested in looking at the charity, they could go to my Facebook, Cap's Big Walk, and at the very top there's, I mean, all my dodgy media interviews are in there as well, and there are some dodgy ones, like underpants on the outside, hey, I'm dead, sexy, kind of really bad interviews. But yeah, there's also links to the charity in there, and it's about paediatric cancer research. So 950 Aussie children, the global numbers would stagger me. But 950 Aussie children every year diagnosed with paediatric cancer. 950. So of those diagnosed, 20% do not. They are fated to die. They do not survive treatment. So that's 3 children, 3 Aussie kids every week dying. 3 every week. So it's 1 every second day. I've been walking 73 days. So to add that into real context. 1 every second day. So that means a good 30-something kids have dropped. Due to paediatric cancer. So, but the ones that don't die, they suffer the same sort of, and their family. So if they're too young to carry the psychological weight, the ramifications that I failed to deal with as a fully grown man, their family carries that weight. Will little Barry die? He didn't die, but will it come back for him? And all of that. So but there's also just physical side effects and recurrence and all of that they have to deal with. So the charity is about. It's not like one of these ones like feed the homeless. That solves a symptom, not the disease. If you want to help the homeless, I think we need to look at domestic violence. We need to look at, mental health. We need to look at substance abuse as a, self-treatment for the other problems, and that might help remediate it at the source. And that's what the Kids Cancer Project is about with regard to cancer. So it's not about housing or access to treatment. It's about research into bettering the clinical outcomes. So softer treatments, more effective treatments. So for me, if that 950 number became 949 next year, that means we've saved not just that one life. Every subsequent year, there's an unborn child who will not, or get sick, or they get sick, but they get better more successfully. And that's to this. There's this quote from the Talmud, the Hebrew Bible, I guess, that I often say, and it's that if you save but one life, you save the world entire. And that for me is about the ripple effect of kindness. So for me, however much money is raised, it's about that idea of saving just one precious child. And then the wider ramifications for the world, what that signifies. Because for me, it's incumbent on all of us to just move towards righteousness and to try and do something beautiful if you can.
100%. I couldn't agree more, and I so agree with you that you make a difference to one person, then that's success. That is massive success. And I think that we look at these kids and we think, they're resilient. People constantly saying kids are resilient, but I just think kids don't have the words, they don't have the vocabulary. It's
But and again, cancer's a disease of your society as well. So it doesn't. Even if the kid is like so young, 3 years old, that they just won't have a memory of what happened. So they'll go into age 7, 8, 9 and not know that they had cancer. And let's say it never recurs and they don't have profound physical side effects for it. Wonderful. But the family then carry the weight of the psychological stuff. They're always watchful, overprotective. Every little cough could be cancer. And I mean, I've met people who have lost children to cancer, and the way that it hardened them is profound and terrible. And they inflict that on their other children too. They can't help it. The loss is so stark and raw and everlasting that it affects everything else in their life. So even when they've had children subsequent to the one they lost, those children are deeply affected by the death of a child that they never even got to meet. So it's
bloody awful.
And I think a lot of the people who donate, they're not even. It's like, it's kids' cancer. That sounds all right, but they're doing it because it's Captain Australia taking a big walk. You know what I mean? That, I mean, I'd prefer it if they knowing, and I do talk about pediatric cancer and like try and advocate and educate and talk about the numbers and all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because the support is there and it's going to a worthy cause. But it's called the Kids Cancer Project, and it is a charity worth supporting. And if you annually support a charity and you're looking for a new one, suss them out. And
I think it's a dark subject. However, I agree with you. It shouldn't be overlooked. Like we've got to bring these things to the table. You know, we have to bring
You should
them
be
up.
able to discuss everything.
I
think,
agree. Yeah. Otherwise, we're not going to. Otherwise, we're just, you know, we don't even know how to deal with grieving parents. We don't even know what to say to them. You know, if it's not common. Common language.
We are becoming afraid to tell the truth too, because we as a species have become more narcissistic, and that's made us more combative. So you believe one thing, I believe a different thing, I'm a dickhead, and that's it. You know, we don't build consensus as successfully anymore, I think. And because of that, it's really hard to, or you can be afraid to, just talk true. You know what I mean?
I do.
And oh, it's really coming down, isn't it?
It's coming down now, and I tell you.
Oh, come on, Captain Australia. Let's do an interview in the car, Captain Australia. You can walk after. I could be halfway to sail now before this bloody rain hit.
And I'm not bloody driving him. He's going to finish.
Yeah, no, I'm not driving anywhere. That wrecks the whole idea.
No, we won't do
that. Look at this bloody rain. Holy
and
Lord.
by the way, I've been watching his videos, and please go and watch him. Captain's Great Walk.
Captain Australia's Big Walk.
Captain Australia's Big Walk. I better get it right.
So on Facebook, it's /Caps Big Walk. There you go. So
go and check it out and watch. And he's been battling through the rain. I can tell you, it's been a bloody major. As soon as he got to Victoria, you know, get shit on by the rain. But it's so good. And he's going to come into Federation Square on Saturday, the 19th of March.
Yep, that's right.
So, you know, if you're in Melbourne, or if you can get to Melbourne, you know, he's going to nominate a place to meet. It's probably going to be Alexandra Gardens or something like that, so that everybody can walk into Federation Square together and really make a big deal of it, you know. And if you can do that, please go and do it, because, you know, you don't just walk from Brisbane to Melbourne and then have two people go, oh yeah, that's a good job. Like, people like doing stuff like Simon's doing. As a community and as humanity, as Simon said, we've become separated. All this bullshit going on in the world. You know, when people are doing good, we've got to get behind them. And if you can get into Melbourne, or if you are in Melbourne, please go meet him there and just do that last little bit with him. And I'm going to keep pushing this too, because I want people to do that, because I want people to get off the bench and go do some bloody fantastic stuff. And we need cheerleaders. We seriously need cheerleaders. So if you can do it, please do it. But I've loved this little chat. I did kidnap him halfway. I saw on Facebook, I'm at Stratford, and I thought, oh, by Jesus, I'm going to go kidnap him before he gets to bloody Sale and gets ambushed. As I drove past him on the highway, I yelled out, and he must have thought, who's this fucking lunatic? You know, yelling out to me.
Oh, you're not the first one to yell out on the highway, mate. It's all good. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going
to
leave it there. But this is Simon Harvey, Captain Australia. And please get on, follow him, and join in and donate some money to the Kids Cancer Project, because, you know, you don't walk from Brisbane to Melbourne for no reason. This is bloody important and bloody special. So, signing off there, and thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you very much.